little time on UPA or UPA style. UPA is an acronym for the United Productions of America. So a little bit of background on UPA or UPA style. The United Productions of America was founded in the wake of the Disney animator strike in 1941. A lot of animators were dissatisfied with how they were being treated at the studio, so they decided to go on strike for better wages, shorter hours, and a number of them just ended up leaving permanently. And some of them were actually blackballed after the strike, so they weren't allowed to come back or work. So a number of those animators that left got together and founded a new studio. They originally called it the Industrial Film and Poster Service. And they were experimenting with different styles and techniques that weren't generally allowed at Disney. And they really wanted to take the time to get away from realism and work on applying some of the new techniques of the movement of modernism. Eventually, the UPA style influenced other studios, including Disney. It became very, very popular. And they contracted with Columbia Pictures in 1948. They were just like a small independent studio. And from there, they had like the financial backing to grow and create television series and films and animated shorts. Okay, so what defines this UPA style? So with this idea of modernism, we're getting into, even like with painting, we're getting into more abstraction as opposed to just trying to depict what we see in front of us. So it's a more like stylized characters and more about graphic shapes. The space became more compressed, so it wasn't as three-dimensional. So it wasn't like a very clear foreground, middle ground, and background. Everything felt like it was all on one plane. They also were experimenting with more striking colors, as opposed, again, with using realism. And also, one thing that really defines the UPA style is using what's called limited animation instead of like animating, if it's 24 frames per second. Chuck Jones had a major influence on the style of UPA. And the story is essentially Schlesinger was not happy with Chuck Jones' work in the beginning of his career there. He really wanted Chuck Jones to get more stylized. Chuck Jones was trying to be very realistic in his animations. And so Chuck Jones came up with this idea of making a more stylized animation. And he came up with the Dover Boys at Pimento University. So you're going to see more stylized backgrounds. He was working with more limited movement, so not, every frame wasn't animated. He used what are called smear frames, which were utilized a lot in animation, where basically you go from one pose to the next, and then the frame in between is basically like a blurred frame. With this particular animation, the smear frames were even more extreme and just completely over the top. And so looking at this animation, you might think, well, it looks pretty much like a Warner Brothers animation. It does. But at the time, it was very revolutionary. Schlesinger did not like it. He thought it was too stylized, hated the smear frames. He really wanted to fire Chuck Jones after this, but he ended up keeping him because there was a shortage of animators to work. And of course, as we know, Chuck Jones had a lucrative career at Warner Brothers. So let's take a look at the Dover Boys at Pimento University. It's a really fun animation, and I hope you enjoy.
Pimento University. Pimento U. Good old P.U.
Pimento U, oh sweet P.U., thy fragrant odor scents the air. A pox on Yale, poo-poo Purdue, Pimento U, my college fair. Oh, sweet
Out and away the most popular fellows at, Out and away, the most popular fellows at old P.U. are the three Dover boys. Tom, the fun-loving member of the trio. Dick, a serious lad of 18 summers, plus a winter in Florida, as related in the Dover boys in the Everglades. And Larry, the youngest of the three brothers. A gay outing at the park has been planned by the merry trio, and they're off to fetch their fiancée, dainty Dora Standpipe, at Miss Cheddar's Female Academy close by.
Oh, shout P.U.
With their usual punctuality, the boys arrive at the appointed hour of 3.
Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo!
And are soon on their rollicking way. Forced to pass a certain public house, a tavern of unsavory repute, our young friends meet the distressing situation with their usual uncompromising moral fortitude. Little do they know that even now, within this very tavern, Dan Backslide, the former sneak of Roquefort Hall, coward bully, cad and thief, and arch enemy of the Dover boys, squanders his misspent life.
Hark! The Dover boys. Drat them. Double drat them. They are escorting Dora Standpipe. Dear rich Dora Standpipe, how I love her! Father's money. Confound those Dover boys! Oh, how I hate them! I hate Tom! I hate Dick! And I hate Larry! They drive me to drink! Confound them. Found them!
But let us draw the curtain on this sordid scene and turn to more pleasant surroundings, where we find our young friends engaged in a spirited game of hide, go, and seek.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55.
No! In here! No, up here!
No, over here, over here.
Over here! In here!
No, in here.
No, in here! Over here!
Over here.
No, over here! Over here!
In here.
In here!
No,
Over here!
no, here.
Over here!
No, here.
No.
510, 515, 516.
Over here! Over here!
No, here.
Whoops! Sorry.
No, here.
Over here! Over here!
No, in here.
The Dover boys. Then Dora must be alone and unprotected! A runabout. I'll steal it! No one will ever know!
Thirteen and 30,
and save her from this predicament? Will no one come to her assistance? But hold on. What's this? It looks like an alert young scout. And that's just what it is. He'll not fail her, I'll venture.
Telegram for the Dover boys. Mrs. Tom, Dick, and Larry, Caraway with Tavern Upper Bottleneck, New York. Sirs, quote, help! Unquote. Signed Dora. 35 cents collect.
Dear, sweet Dora, dear, keep courage up and chin held high. The stalwart sons of old P.U. are here at hand to do or die. P.U., P.U., we're all for you. Yay, boo!
Unhand her, Dan Backslide. Unhand her, Dan Backslide. Unhand her, Dan Backslide. Hey, we're getting in a rut. Stand up and fight, you coward, bully, cat, and thief. Oh, you haven't been thrashed enough yet, eh?
And now it is time to say goodbye. Goodbye.
So here is an example of a smear frame. So you can see that essentially the character started at one point and is ending at another point, and then it's just one frame that's blending between the two of those. Another example from the early days of UPA is Hellbent for the Election. It was an allegorical campaign to vote for Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was commissioned by the UAW, or the United Auto Workers. This one was directed by Chuck Jones. He was hired as basically a freelancer. And this is one of the first major films from UPA. So it's pretty much like even more stylized than the Dover Boys, and uses more of the graphical shapes that I was talking about earlier in the UPA style. I'm not going to show the animation, but I can have a link to it. It's like 13 minutes long, but you can take a look at it. And moving on to John Hubley. So he's one of the major animators that worked for UPA. He ended up leaving and just creating his own independent shorts and that sort of thing. He was a former layout artist for Disney, and he also left Disney because he was dissatisfied with just how things were going. He couldn't experiment with different styles and techniques and that sort of thing. So Mr. Magoo was first introduced in this animation called Ragtime Bear, and you can see the more of the stylization that they were working on at UPA with this animation. And also, this is UPA's first human cartoon star. So they had like other stars that were animal based, but this one is their first human one. And most of us are familiar with Mr. Magoo. You know, they went on to develop TV series and films and that sort of thing.
Which way to Hodgepodge Lodge?
Can't you read the sign?
Well, certainly I can read the sign. What does it say?
Straight ahead.
Yeah, well, thank you kindly. Come on, Waldo. Follow me.
Yeah, okay,
You're a scatterbrain boy. Nothing. Waldo, stop that guitar. Can't stand noise. We came up here for peace and quiet, son.
Unc.
Waldo! I told you to quit it. Now, give me that mandolin. Get yourself a new coat. You're disgraceful, son. I'd like you to see a neat boy. I tell you, by George. Is this Hodgepodge Lodge? Pay attention, son.
Welcome, Mr. Magoo.
Oh, yeah.
How nice.
Oh, yes. It's a pleasure. Meet my nephew, Waldo.
Oh, yes.
He's a
I've
bright,
heard so much
bright
about
lad.
him.
He's a
Yes.
fine banjo player. Musicals.
Delighted.
Come on, Waldo. Get some rest and take off that coat. Oh, boy, you don't look neat. You're... I tell you, by George, that boy is a Oh, there you are. Waldo! Waldo! For the last time, stop that music! Peace and quiet. Man needs a rest, you know. Alone at last. Oh, what have I done? What shall I do? Water, water, that's it. Plenty of hot water.
Unc, I'm back. Oh boy, a bed. Oh, can I use a bed?
Here we are, lad. Here we are, stout boy. Waldo, you're alive. Oh, I'm so ashamed, Waldo. Oh, here, Waldo. You can have your banjo. And if you play one note, I'll blast you!
Okay, yeah, super cute animation, directed by John Hubley. He went on to direct even more shorts for UPA. This next one he produced, and this one was an Academy Award winner in 1950, Gerald McBoing Boing. And you can see like you getting even more abstraction, less details in the backgrounds, and use of the, limited style of animation.
This is the story of Gerald McCloy and the strange thing that happened to that little boy. They say it all started when Gerald was 2. That's the age kids start talking. At least most of them do. Well, when he started talking, you know what he said? He didn't talk words. He went instead. What's that? Cried his father, his face turning gray. That's a very odd thing for a young boy to say. And poor Gerald's father rushed to the phone and quick dialed the number of Dr. Malone. Come over fast, the poor father pled. Our boy can't speak words. He goes boing, boing instead. I see, said the doctor. It's just as you said. He doesn't speak words. He goes boing, 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 boing instead. I've no cure for this. I can't handle the case. And he packed up his pills and walked out of the place. Then months passed, and Gerald got louder and louder, till one day he went like a big keg of powder. It was then that his father said, "This is enough. He'll drive us both mad with this terrible stuff. A boy of his age shouldn't sound like a fool. He's got to learn words. We must send him to school." From Public School 7 to Mrs. McCloy, your little son Gerald's a most hopeless boy. We cannot accept him, for we have a rule that pupils must not go in our school. Your boy will go all his life, I'm afraid. Sincerely yours, Fanny Schultz, teacher, first grade. But as little Gerald grew older, he found when a fella goes, no one wants him around. When a fella goes, he can't have any pals, and is fighting the gals.
Yeah!
They all shouted.
Your name's not McCoy. You're Gerald McBoing Boing, the noise-making boy.
Aren't you Gerald McBoing Boing, the lad who makes sweets? Boy, I have searched for you many long weeks. I can make you the most famous lad in the nation, for I own the radio station. I need a smart fellow to make all the sounds, who can bark like a dog and bay like the hounds. Your gong is terrific. Your toot is inspired. We come to McBoing Boing, you're hired.
The Dalton gang stuck up the stagecoach this noon, and the varmints are holed up in Fancy's saloon. A sheriff can't get at him. Not even the law knows how to beat 23 men to the draw.
Now hold on there, partner. One fella knows how. It's Silent Sam Steelheart, and here he comes now. Now his parents, proud parents, are able to boast that their Gerald's is known coast to coast. Now Gerald is rich, he has friends, he's well fed. Because he doesn't speak words, he goes instead.
Okay, so our next animation is Rudy Toot Toot. This one is directed by John Hubley. And this is a super fun animation, again, using those flattened perspectives as well as the very striking colors and stylized animation. So let's take a look.
Frankie and Johnny were sweethearts. Oh, what a couple in love, oh love. As the story goes true to each other, just as true as the stars above. He was a man, but he done wrong. Johnny stepped out on his Frankie, though he had sworn they'd be wed. A Rudy Toot Toot, and Johnny wound up dead. Oh, he was a man, but he done wrong.
The People versus Frankie.
Frankie came down to the courtroom. She faced every rap in the book. Her lawyer was Jonathan Bailey, known as Honest John the Crook. He was the man who was gonna prove that people were wrong.
Your Honor, we've had enough histrionics. It's an open and shut kind of case. We call to the stand the bartender of the joint where the crime took place.
Frankie and Johnny were sweethearts, and all over town it was known. And then one day he came in without Frankie, but he still ain't quite alone. Now Frankie comes looking for Johnny. Well, I couldn't tell her no lie, so I quietly slipped her the info. He's out back with Nellie Bly.
Nellie Bly?
Rudy Toot Toot. Rudy Toot Toot? Right in the snoot.
Your witness. No questions. Next witness.
I'm Nellie Bly. I'm a singer of sweet melody.
That's a lie, that's a lie. She's no singer.
Please.
As I started to say I'm a singer, at least in my time I've heard worse. I was in the back room there with John Boy, but only to rehearse. Now Johnny seemed just a little bit nervous. He had seen Frankie's temper before. Toot-a-toot-toot when Frankie's gun right through that hardwood door. She shot him. But we were doing no.
She shot her man. There's no dispute. She shot her man with a Rudy Toot Toot. Your witness. No question. The state rests.
Facto factorum.
Picture, if you will, the true events. Frankie in her garden, in her innocence, up to her lovely neck in flax, and flax, and flocks of hollyhocks. For she is pure, pure and demure, pure, demure. have asked for the truth without compunction. I have performed that function. Could she pull this trigger? Bah. Take a life? Bah. Were she free, I'd take this maiden for my wife.
Not guilty! Not guilty!
Not guilty!
Ipso facto, status quo. I rest my case.
Roll out your rubber-tired hearses. Roll out your rubber-tired hack. 'Cause Frankie's going to the jailhouse. And she ain't coming back. 'Cause it's wrong to shoot with a Rudy toot-toot. She shot her man 'cause he done her wrong.
Right, so moving on to the Telltale Heart. So this is the Edgar Allan Poe story. And this is a really great example of very, very limited animation, mostly illustrated with camera pans and zooms and that sort of thing. So let's take a look.
True, I'm nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. But why will you say that I'm mad? See how calmly, how precisely I can tell the story to you. Listen. It starts with the old man. An old man in an old house. A good man, I suppose. He had never harmed me. I didn't want his gold, if gold there was. Then what was it? I think it was his eye. Yes, that eye, the eye. That. His eye staring. Milky white film. The eye, everywhere, everywhere, in everything. Of course I had to get rid of the eye. So I waited, watched, waited. I was never so kind to the old man. I looked after him each minute, each second, and I waited. But night after night, in the hour of the slowest clock, I opened the old man's door. The eye was always closed. For 7 days I waited. You think me mad? What madman would wait, could wait so patiently, so long, in the old house, with the old man and the eye that... Then on the 8th night, I knew. Tonight. Still, I waited, while time slowed, stopped, ebbed out. A watch's hand moved. moved more quickly than mine. Then... What? No! For an hour, I did not move a muscle. I could feel the earth turn. The eye. Hear the spider spinning. In the house, the grinding crumble of decay. Then, something else. Dull and muffled, yet... Of course. It was the beating of the old man's heart. He knew. So strong for such an old man. Louder then. And still louder. For all the world to hear and know. I had to stop it. Then it was over. The heart was still. The eye was dead. I was free. But there was still work to be done. I replaced the planks so cleverly, no eye, not even his, could have found anything wrong. Huh? So soon?
The neighbors reported a scream. We're obliged to investigate.
A scream? My own, gentleman. A childish dream. But come in, please. You'll want to look through the house.
That is our duty. Where's the old man?
Gone to the city.
You're up very early this morning.
The dream I spoke of, it awakened me.
When did he leave?
The old man? Yesterday.
How long will he be away?
2 weeks. Perhaps longer.
Nothing out of place here.
There is his bed, here his cupboard, all in order.
Quite in order.
All quite in order.
Yes, nothing amiss. You understand that when a complaint is made, we have no choice to...
Stay, please. Such a wretched hour. I was making tea. A hot drink will break the chill. Surely it would surprise good people how much evil the night conceals from their eyes. But not yours, to be sure. What did you say, sir? Yes, of course, the hot water. It will do no harm to the bare boards. I'm a little less tidy with the old man away. Then I heard it. It might have been a hand, a clock. But no. Louder, and still louder. They must hear it. Yet they sit and talk and talk. They must. Of course they do. They know. They do. They're torturing me, watching me, letting it beat so that I... Stop it! Stop it, you devils! Yes, I did it. It's there, under the floor. Oh, stop it! It is the beating of his hideous heart! True, I'm nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. But why will you say that I'm mad?
Okay, so moving on from that, we have the use of UPA in television, commercials, and then we'll take a look at, just discuss a little bit about the use of the television series. Okay, so we have Okay, so moving on to television, UPA also got involved not only in creating films, but also commercials and television series and that sort of thing. So this is just a fun little example of a television commercial from the 1950s.
When Josephine met Bonaparte, he quickly ran off with her heart. No gal could ever resist him. Their romance made the presses burn. Each moment Josephine would yearn to kiss and kiss and kiss him. Then Josie felt a new emotion, one whiff of aqua velva lotion, and a great new romance began. Because there's something about an aqua velva man.
I'm just going to finish up with television series that you're probably familiar with, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, Super Friends, The Pink Panther, The Flintstones. So this limited animation style of UPA that developed just pretty much spread throughout our entire culture. And they made use of like reusing parts. So like with the Flintstones, if you look at some of those animations, you'll see that Fred, like the body is still and then just the head is moving. Just like we saw with the Telltale Heart, a lot of camera pans and zooms rather than trying to animate frame by frame. And again, that lower frame rate that I was discussing earlier, where things were animated on 2s, 3s, 4s, rather than an entire, like on 1s where every single frame was drawn. So that concludes UPA, and